have reached week 3 of the Major League Soccer season for 2024. I am joined by the usual suspects with one new addition. We have John Rivera. We have Hitman Honda for the first time on Wake Up MLS. Welcome in, brother. And we got, of course, man, the bye-week man himself, Hector Flores of Insert Name FC. We're going to jump right in, waste no more time. I will say this, boys, before we jump too far into the first matchup here. Week 2 saw us take a few L's, okay? A few L's. I think it's totally okay. I think some of this was highly unpredictable. For the snow game with RSL and LAFC, Inter Miami winning 5-0, so much of this is what makes Major League Soccer great, and we're going to try and do it all again for week 3.
I would like to issue an apology to all the Messi stands. I did not, and the Suarez stands, by the way.
Suarez stands, yeah.
I did not expect for him to score as much as he did. So I want to publicly come out and say I apologize. I will get things wrong. I still don't think my take is I think it's a one-off as Suarez, but
don't be sorry, bro. Again, I think actually you had a lot of ball knowledge with that take. Suarez just he had his coming out party against Orlando. It happens, bro.
You know what? I disagree. I think he's gonna break the MLS record.
And the bye week man is starting early. All right, let's go ahead and jump into NYCFC versus the Portland Timbers. NYCFC, man, I actually thought they were gonna kind of show up for week 2. They lost, even though it being on the road. They lost to St. Louis 2-0 on the road, had a couple chances, but more than a few things just didn't really fall their way. Portland, on the other hand, drew 2-2 at home to DC United, who was actually looking pretty damn good heading into the 2024 season. We'll talk about them a little bit later. Bro, New York City FC have yet to score a goal this season, which is wild. Last time these two teams met, they drew 1-1 in 2023. This game, man, I mean, it's finally they get a home game, which is great for New York City. It is at that dreaded baseball stadium. Maybe that will work in their favor for this. I don't really know.
James Sands.
Yeah, and no James Sands after that stupid, that tackle where he kind of swung up at the player. I don't know, man. Moronic at its finest. But with that said, missing a very key player, but they will be at home. We all know how home teams are sort of favored in Major League Soccer. How do we see this one going?
You know what? I believe I said Portland yesterday. Thinking about it more a little bit. There was good points brought up yesterday as well. The baseball stadium is gonna hinder Portland. I got NYCFC 1. No. The reason for that is because I feel like New York is in shambles, honestly, they are. But I feel like this is a perfect place for Portland to slip up. I think if they slip up, it wouldn't be that big of a deal for them.
Yeah.
I could also see it being a 0-0 draw. It could be one of those, it would be a Snoozefest. But I feel like New York can edge it out being at home and playing in a stadium where they understand the ins and outs of it, which, I mean, I feel like as long as they've been in the league, it doesn't matter how many times you play them, you cannot get used to playing in a baseball stadium. So I got New York 1-0.
I actually agree with John. I actually have a 2-1 New York. And it's kind of crazy, bro. I think Vegas agrees with us. Right now, as we sit here and record today, midweek, prior to week 3, Vegas has New York City FC winning this game, which is interesting. It is that dreaded baseball stadium. You can't forget about Portland also having to travel from the West Coast all the way over to New York. That's a big factor as well. And I think that, like John said, fans, I think, will be slightly forgiving of Portland, considering how they've opened up the season. They look pretty damn good, just trying to kick things off. I don't know. I can see this being a trap game for them and New York City, finding a way to kind of net out their first win of the season. Anybody else disagree?
Nah, NYCFC is going to see that index card of a championship banner and just going to be like, remember what we fight for, guys. We're still in it. James Sands who?
James Sands who? No, I don't know about that. That's kind of crazy. But I will say that, I don't. It's kind of wild considering how Portland started that we don't really have a disagreeing opinion. But I do think that it's just going to be hard to go there and win. We all know how MLS favors the home team, and there's a lot of little obstacles in front of.
What's the weather? What's the weather?
What's the weather?
Hey, man.
Exactly.
Any blizzards coming?
Listen.
God,
we just gotta be weathermen on this show. We gotta be analysts, weathermen, physios, and just gotta overall.
We're doing too much, man.
We gotta be therapists for the team.
Yeah, therapists in the team.
We gotta be everything,
Yeah, bro. I think this one's straightforward.
I think it's straightforward just because the dimensions on the pitch on a baseball stadium is it's so different than being on an actual football stadium. I don't care how they try to line it up and how they try to make it work. It's still a baseball stadium. It's oddly shaped. Even their locker rooms are really weird because they're in the dugout. So it's for me, it's just this game is a mess. It's always been a mess in New York. I can't wait till they get their new stadium. I feel like once they do that, I think it'll be a different ball game, and I feel like their fans will actually appreciate them more as well. But until that happens, I feel like they'll still have a full home advantage in their games.
Yeah, redefining home field advantage. I think when it comes to stacks up against every team in MLS. So this one to me, like I said, I think we all could have New York City FC winning, but considering that they're winless and technically goalless to open up the season, it is kind of a wild take. If anybody disagrees in the comments, let us know down below. I would love to hear a great take on why you think Portland could win this game.
That just tells me they're due. That just tells me they're due.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I totally agree. It's like,
time.
bro, they're probably overdue now for a goal and a win. So,
and that pitch is hideous. That pitch is hideous. So New York City knows how to run on that pitch as well too. I mean,
I'm just gonna say this. I'm no prediction god, but I did call Insigne scoring and Toronto winning.
Yeah,
so
it was a pretty little win. Speaking of Toronto, let's just jump in. Toronto versus Charlotte. Toronto, you mentioned the Insigne goal, which was, dude, it was a perfect little dink to the back post, right into the side netting. Just vintage Insigne. Gave me Napoli vibes. You know what I mean? Toronto winning on the road against New England. Yeah, on the road against New England. And that to me was, I think, a signal of intent from John Herdman's men, right? This isn't 2023 Toronto. I think that, we're going to see, I'm not saying that they're going to be top 4 in the East, right? But we're going to see a very different Toronto FC team this season. They seem to be clicking much better, at least to open things up. And then, of course, you have Charlotte, who went on the road against Vancouver, another playoff team in 2023, and drew 1-1. So it's, to me, this one's a little bit trickier. I am going to, from my perspective, just give my take really fast and you guys can go. I'm predicting Toronto to win 2-1 because it is a home game, because of what they've shown so far. I think we all underestimated Toronto FC coming into this year. And me personally, I just didn't know really what to expect. But through 2 weeks, I'm liking what I see so far. And it's not just the Insigne goal. It's the number of chances they're actually getting. Had they put some of those away against New England, it could have easily been 3-0. So I think that, we're going to see how they stack up against Dean Smith's men. And right now, the best thing we could say about Charlotte is that defensively, they look a little more sound than in the past couple seasons, but the goals aren't really falling. So I'm taking Toronto 2-1. Who disagrees?
It's that Dean Smith low block. 1-1.
Really?
Toronto and Charlotte. I just Dean Smith and again, I was very critical of the hiring when we talked about it before, but I'll say this again. Like, I don't think that Dean Smith offensively has got that team to click yet, because there's a lot of pieces that they still need to figure out, and they'll get it going. I just don't know if they'll figure that out before the summer. And I feel like they're, with whatever scores they're going to be, it's going to be like a 1-0 win or a 1-1 draw. Like, it'll be close, but I don't think I get it. Toronto played well, and they're still in the process, and they still have to build into their new system, because this is a new manager for them as well. They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to make it work with Insigne and Bernardeschi. I think they're figuring it out, and I think they will. I just think that this game will be more closer, and it'll be kind of compact, and I think a 1-1 draw just seems right to me, because I don't know if Toronto has built up that offensive edge just yet. I feel like they're missing something, and it might be another RSL thing. They might go on and score another 3 goals. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's going to be a 1-1.
John's got to cover his bases now, bro. He's like, all right, I might be fucking wrong. It is what it is. Just put that out there.
I think what John said, the key phrase is figuring things out. And I think that's what both these teams are doing still.
Yeah.
Both going in with new managers. I think one is probably you're starting to see a little bit getting better, but there's still more things to figure out when you're talking about Charlotte. I also agree. I think it's going to be a draw. When both your teams are still trying to get into a groove, still trying to figure things out, there's going to be little things that are going to still tweak out. But yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Insigne and Bernardeschi right now. It's like night and day now from last year, which is great for Toronto, because I mean that's the whole point. That was all the hype that we were hearing when Insigne and Bernardeschi were coming. But for Charlotte, yeah, there's still a lot of questions behind them. I could see Toronto win it, but I think while they're still both in the figuring out phase, it's going to be a draw, 1-1.
Yeah, Honda, how do you feel about this one?
I'm more inclined with what you said, Jose, like a 2-1 or 1-0 even for Toronto FC, because I took a look at the 2 matchups that each team had, and Toronto looked much better with much better teams than Charlotte did with much worse teams, even though Charlotte, their first game, it was 2-0 versus New York City. But that New York City side, it's not looking like it's a good side compared to like the players, comparing the players. So, yeah, 2-1, I would say.
Yeah, it's interesting with Toronto. I'm glad you brought that point up, right? Because you look at the form, right? Just the recent form in 2024 and who they've stacked up against. You have Charlotte taking on New York City and Vancouver, and Vancouver being the better of those two teams, and they drew 1-1. And then you have Toronto taking on Cincy and then the Revs, right? You have two playoff teams, and technically for the last, I don't know, at least in recent history, powerhouses in the East, and have netted out 4 points out of those two games. And so, it's keep in mind too. I thought this was interesting. The last time these guys played was in October. You guys remember how that game went?
Yeah.
It was 3-0 Charlotte. And granted, way different version of Toronto. I'm not saying that we're dealing with that version of Toronto FC, but it's just something to note with recent history.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to get at too. Was like it's the fact that like I think not necessarily that Toronto it has figured it out offensively, because there's a lot of things missing and there's a couple things that they need to improve and they need to get better on. But the problem is that I feel like their managers. He knows what he's doing with this roster, attacking wise, and they haven't figured it out yet. They're figuring it out as they're going. And I could see Toronto probably doing a much better job than what they did last year. But like I said, I think this is one of those games where it's going to be tight. I think either way, whatever way it goes, I could see it going either way. Although Charlotte is missing that firepower, so they need something. But.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, they have to score, right? Or unless this draw ends in a 0-0, but they have to score, and so I think that's going to be key for what John was saying there. We'll see. I think collectively we have a split here. So you guys really feel adamant about Charlotte?
Not really.
Not
really.
You know what? The fact that I did say I could see Toronto winning it, I'll switch.
The weather as well.
The weather. Hey.
Oh man, what's the weather like? What's that?
Canada in early March. I don't know, boys. It could be a blizzard.
Hey, listen. I'm not going to disagree with the group. I think if you guys say I see 1-0, I can see 1-0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can too.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So we'll see how it nets out. I do have a 1-goal difference. I do have Toronto winning. So we'll stick with Toronto for the sake of this show. I think it's going to be an interesting game. No matter what, this game would have been a complete Snoozefest last year. The resurgence of Toronto FC makes it a whole lot more interesting to follow. So we'll see how it nets out. All right, moving on to the next matchup. Atlanta United taking on the Revs out of New England. Interestingly enough, right, with Atlanta being on the bye week, I don't know. Some fans feel like a bye week's a good thing. Some fans it's a bad thing. Like they can lose rhythm or whatever. They don't really have any rhythm from week one. Right? They lost. Yeah, they lost.
There's
to
no
Columbus.
choice to have the bye week. Like you're gonna have the bye week.
Exactly.
What are they gonna do? Go scrimmage against their MLS Next Pro team? Like,
I mean, they could, I guess, right, or the local USL side or whatever, right? But like at the end of the day, that's all they really could have done. They get to save their legs for a week, whereas New England, we just talked about it, lost at home after that crazy, what was it, the tea crate tradition, the new tradition that they're rolling out at the Reds. I think that's interesting. I'm sure the local Chicago Fire fan on this show has something to say about it. But before we get there, Toronto, sorry, not Toronto. The Revs losing at home to me makes this matchup very, very interesting. Atlanta being fresh as hell. Mercedes-Benz Stadium being very, very difficult to win at. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
Last time these two teams played at Mercedes-Benz, they drew 3-3. This is, I think, we're hopefully, this game has a lot of goals in store for us. I'm hoping it does. I guess we'll find out how it's all going to net out. I have Atlanta United taking this just because it's a beast of a stadium to play at.
I will agree with you, and I will say this: so far I've been proven right in what I said about the Revs at the beginning of the season when we were talking about the teams and So I'm being proven right here. I don't want to like get too overly excited about it.
We're 3 weeks in, John. We're fucking 3 weeks in, bro.
Man.
I'll say this.
No. Go.
Let me cook.
Don't listen to these guys.
Let me cook.
All right, good.
I had said it last year as we were going on, and I'll keep saying it. That Bruce Arena situation, that whole thing that happened with that team, completely fucked over this team. You can't, how do you perform how they've been performing, being at the end of last season, the beginning of this season? Like, I get it. They lost. They don't really have a striker. Carlos Gil's really their only attacker. He's really the only one really providing anything for that team. But against this Atlanta side that I feel like they only played one game. They get a week off. They're probably going to come out a little bit hungry because I feel like they probably felt like they could have shown a little bit more. So I feel like Atlanta's going to win this 3-0. I'm just going to say it 3-0.
Bro, okay, so here's what I'll say to counter just the bold New England's going to shit the bed the entire season take. with the Revs, you have to throw away the DC United game because they got a red card in the 25th minute, right?
Okay,
Like you kind of throw that away, and they were still creating chances, by the way, which is why I still think New England's a decent team. The Toronto game, it's like it felt like I was watching Chicago Fire this past weekend or the FC Dallas this past weekend, where it's like, they're missing weird chances, or the attack felt stale at times, and to top it off, in stoppage time, the one real chance they had to equalize, Sean Johnson just came up big as hell. I mean, like the second minute of stoppage time, point blank range, and just I couldn't even believe he made the save, right? So it's one of those things where I think it's John's winning that bet very early. I think we also saw Sporting Kansas City lose 10 games straight to start 2023, and they still made playoffs. So we'll see what happens, right? They are winless to start, but I think 50% of that you could throw away because of circumstances. So me and John, Atlanta going through. Let's start with Hector. How do you feel about it?
I mean, Atlanta's home field advantage, I think, is very important. I think
Massive.
Definitely a good example of what an MLS home crowd should look like. Calling you out, Houston Dynamo. No more excuses.
Definitely no more.
We got a decent side now. Just don't look at that New York Red Bulls game. But no, I mean, I kind of what you said about New England though. Like, aside from Carlos Gil, like who's out there for the attack, in my opinion. And so I like Atlanta United a little bit more. I like that home crowd. They have an actually cool tradition for pregame. Like Spike, hammering a spike.
Is that really what it is?
Isn't that what they do?
I have no idea. I didn't. I wasn't.
No, we just added a new one, but we'll talk about it when we get there.
It's literally their tradition. It's like there's like this like golden spike, and then kind of like they hit it with a hammer.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, I had no idea. I watched games at Atlanta United, but I've never been to one, or I guess seen that tradition. So that's lost on me. But yeah, bro. I mean, I think
Waka Flocka Flame.
hey, maybe we got to do that for an episode. We got to rank the team's traditions.
That would be dope, actually. I'd totally be down because I do want to learn more about what some of these clubs do, as to, just to get the fans more bought into to who they are. But I think, and Honda, even regardless of what you might have to say here, I imagine you probably agree, right? Like I think we're all in unison on Atlanta.
I 100% agree. New England only have one striker in total, bro. And last game, he wasn't there. They didn't do anything. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Chancelay's not a striker, bro. He's a winger. Keep him the wing.
I mean, they had to do what they had to do, right? Brioni had to, he's got a red card, couldn't play. It is what it is. You have to make do. But man, the Revs do need more help up front. Like they got to figure that out. I don't know where that's going to come from, but they got to find a way.
They need a way. They need a way. I keep saying this, but a lot of these clubs but the summer window can't come any sooner.
Yeah, bro, I agree. Summer is gonna be big for a lot of different clubs.
I feel like there's a lot of players coming out. Not that a lot of players are out of contract, but I feel like there's gonna be a lot of players that are gonna be moving on, wanting to move out from Europe. Some of these teams might have to keep an eye because
the Modric.
Yeah, Luka.
Maybe. I mean, she's almost 40, so it would seem fitting, right? That he would.
He's found the fountain of youth, man. That dude's 20 and hard.
I know, but he would come to the world's most popular retirement league, right? I mean, why not?
Listen,
100%.
I would take him here in Chicago, man. I would take him in a heartbeat.
Man, you would take everybody, bro. Homie would take Modric. He would take Lewandowski. He would take everybody. He's like anybody who's a popular name in Europe.
No. It's this. We need to create it,
anybody that ends with a ski or an ick.
Facts. You're probably not even like, bro. That's actually probably a solid bet. Like not like blindfolded. You could probably still pick a pretty good 11 with only those last names.
Exactly.
All right, boys. Atlanta, New England. I think we all are in consensus. Atlanta should win this one. We'll see how it all nets up.
100%.
All right. Moving on. A juicy matchup. I know John's excited about this one. Columbus hosting the Chicago Fire. Columbus coming off of that draw against Minnesota United, which I think, John, should serve as like somewhat of a blueprint for how you guys could attack this Columbus team. It was in Columbus, and Minnesota United, not a playoff team by any means last season. They haven't even started the season really that well, and they found a way to net out that point. What's that?
No Pookie party.
No Pookie party. Facts, bro.
Well, there's no coach. I don't think this is a dub for them.
Next week, guys. Next week
he's back. Yeah, I'll say he's back, but he's there. He's not even he's back. He's there for the first time. So yeah, Columbus drew Minnesota 1-1 on the road. Chicago, and you, John, you can definitely talk about it. Give us the take there. But losing, at home 2-1 to a good Cincinnati team. Let's not beat around the bush. It's a good Cincinnati team, even though they don't have Vasquez. Bupenza still there and still a good striker. So Chicago searching for their first win on the road against the defending champions. John, how do you see this one netting out?
So at what level do you want me to cook here? Because
Full
I can.
send.
You want me to?
First
You want me to?
off,
You
what
want me
went
to
wrong?
be? Do you want me to be honest with what I'm about to say? Because I could be fully honest with
Choose
what I'm about to
violence.
Choose
Listen.
violence. Be honest. Be honest.
I am gonna
Violence
call
is
out.
always
I am gonna call out my club,
Do it.
and I know some of the players from this club have seen some of these shows. So I'm gonna go out and say it. Please, I'm begging you, stop playing hoofball over to Cyprus. This is not gonna work. All right, we're playing hoofball to our striker, making him drop back into the midfield to pick up the ball. How are we going to create any chances if our striker has to come over by where the 10 is, because the 10 is all the way to the fucking right wing and he doesn't know what he's doing? So I'll say this. The fact that we're playing this weird style of football, I don't know if this is a one-off, because I feel like we saw something completely different in game 1 than we did in game 2, and that could have been due to the injury and not having a left back. But when you're playing Fabi at left back and making this makeshift like 3-back type of inverted center mid, like, I don't know what Klopas was cooking up. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was at the game. I looked over at my cousin. I said, "What are we even fucking playing here?" I can't make out a shift of what formation we're playing, because Aragoni would go and he would play center back, and then he would move over to right back, and then Fabi would come back, and then Goodley was dropping back, and I'm like, what are we doing here? There were points in that game, and in the first about 5-10 minutes, we were doing really well. We looked like we were hungry, and I feel like, you know, we had a decent attendance at this game. I feel like the fans were starting to believe, but with performances like that, no one's going to come back. So I think that this is going to be a tough game for us, as it will be for a lot of different clubs in the league. But I see us losing this game. I'm going to be completely honest. We're probably going to end up losing this game 2-0. I don't know if we figured out offensively how we're going to create chances when, again, we're playing hoofball to the striker, and the striker has to pick up the ball all the way in left wing and trying to drop in and create a chance and figure out how to move this ball to get an opportunity to shoot. I don't think he's had a single shot on goal this season. So we're paying 12 mil for a striker, but not giving him service. Like, something's got to give here. And I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know how the rest of you guys saw that game.
No, I didn't check out. I think I watched the first half. I didn't watch the full second half. I went back to watch the game just to see how it netted out. I watched the highlights for the second half. I think I agree with you on the formation part of it. I don't know. It seems like the instructions for the outside backs were like to be some sort of a hybrid position. I don't know if you're meant to play through them as like your primary playmakers to get the ball up to Kuiper so that you can just figure out like how you net out some sort of positive traction on the attacking front. But I don't know, man. I think personally it was just like a one-off. Not to say that Chicago's going to win this game. You're definitely going to fucking lose to the Crew.
Yeah, we're going to lose this game.
But I will say that, like, I don't think Fire fans should be that upset with how this game went. Like, it's you're still going up against an Eastern Conference semi or finalist from last season. Yes, they lost Vasquez, but he wasn't their entire team. The MVP is still there. They still have goal scoring threat still there. I understand that, you know, you want to feel a little more positive about how the result went. But I think this is like vintage MLS. Like, I think this is just how these games go sometimes.
It's just vintage Fire at the end of the day. Like, the first goal that they scored was a giveaway from Chihos back, literally passed it in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
He had players on the outside. I don't know why you're playing it back middle. But we lose the ball, lose possession. There goes the first goal. Second goal came off a set piece. And by the way, the amount of times that I counted, it was about 3 or 4 set pieces off of corners that we had goal line clearances, or Brady had to make an incredible save just to get the ball out. Set pieces need to get cleaned up for sure. So that is an issue where if Columbus can figure that out, they're going to find up scoring 1 or 2 goals off of a corner or something. Something's going to happen there. So, like I said, it's going to be like a 2-0, 3-0 thing.
Which would be on par with how these two teams netted out when they met last season, right? The last match was a 3-0 Columbus win, and that was Cucho's coming out party. So I think
that was at that game.
that game was wild. I just kind of hopped off the plane and started scoring. So I think with this game, I don't think anyone expects Columbus to lose at home, and it's not because of anything Chicago Fire are doing or not doing. I think it's more just about the fact that this is the reigning champion of MLS, and you can't bet against them until they give us a reason to do so, right? So, Hector, Honda, you guys have anything different?
Not different, but I will say I do think Columbus will win this game. I just don't think it's going to be as clear as many think, because remember, Columbus is also going to be between that match is going to be 2 Triple C matches against the Houston Dynamo. So I think that how Wilfred Nancy rotates the squad is going to be very important to tell. But once again, we are talking about Wilfred Nancy, and I think if there is a team that has the rotation that's possible to challenge for, I believe it. No, they're not in for Open Cup, are they?
I
No.
don't think
No,
so.
it's their 2 team, I believe.
But with the depth that they have, I think that they're one of the few teams that could probably be able to rotate around with those tournaments, just because of the way that they all buy into Wilfred Nancy's system. But I think that is something to at least take notice for if you're a Chicago Fire fan. I don't think it's as clear as people are saying, like a 3-0 or a 2-0 victory. I might say it might be a 1-0 victory for Columbus, just because of who's going to be rotated in and who's going to have to play a little bit more minutes than usual.
That's a good point. I'll be honest, like Hector makes a fantastic point. I still have the Crew winning like 2 or 3-0, but I think it will be just because of like it's so hard to go in their house and try to pull something out. I think Wilfred Nancy will be on point. And if there was hope for the Fire, it's to again, like I said at the top of this segment, follow to an extent what the Minnesota United were able to do, right? They like hitting Columbus on the counter when they push so many numbers forward is how you have to try and attack this team. I think Fire have the pieces to do that if Klopas puts the game plan together.
I was just about to say that we have the pieces. Thing is, we need to execute, and I feel I understand why Muller's taking a little bit because he tore his ACL last season, so he's taking a little bit to get reintegrated into the team. But I think that creatively, he's not one of those players that likes to hoofball. So I think once we get him back into the team, maybe we'll start looking a little bit better. But hey, look, this is the life of a Fire fan. You do a 180. Last week we were very optimistic. This week, complete 180. So. It is.
We're going to see a lot of that version of John on the show this season. So yeah, look, I think no more needs to be said. But going back to the take I just made about countering, like the minute Brady gets the ball, like find outside wingers on the sprint and hit Columbus where it hurts. I think that's the only way you can really approach this also, pragmatically.
I think Acosta looked mid, by the way. I think Killian he looks mid. Man. I don't know.
Give him a little bit of time. Give him a little bit of time. I think Killian Acosta is like he is a very strong, proven player in this league.
He is for sure. But
just yet.
He's just I just don't know if the midfield pairing with him right now is the appropriate one.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Killian Acosta, John's calling you out on Wake Up MLS. All right, let's move on into my team and the matchup on the road. First road matchup of the season for FC Dallas. Taking on the Red Bulls. Red Bulls did win on the road against Hector's boys down in Houston, which was impressive. I think that despite what others have to say,
don't recall it. I don't think it ever existed.
I think despite, and again, right, something you have to always put out there with Houston, at least at this moment in time, they're not anywhere close to full strength. They're playing with the formation almost every week because of the personnel issues. We all understand that. But I think with that said, the Red Bulls were able to put it together for a whole game attacking wise against Nashville in week 1. That's the part they were missing. All of the link-up play was there. They just could not finish. Forsberg, too. Forsberg was, in week 1, was shanking some shots, like terribly. Free kicks and everything. So I think they found it a little bit against Houston. Maybe they can build on that heading into this matchup. And then Dallas, losing. I was at that game. Losing to Montreal 2-1. Montreal is the most pragmatic team I've seen in a while. At least live. They had a very pragmatic approach to Dallas, completely just giving away possession. And Dallas likes to possess the ball, and that's okay. I think what they had a tailored game plan to Dallas's 3-4-3 system. Both goals came on counterattacks, specifically on the left side. And what I'll say about this, I'm not going to rant too hard. I was very upset that night, but at the end of the day, it's MLS, and I'm not going to read too much into it. But what I will say is that if Coach Nico Estevez cannot figure out how to be dynamic, how to, when the time comes, be pragmatic, and not stick to his guns with the formation of the personnel that we're using. 2 of our starting 3 center back line are not there, which leads me to believe that you should not be running a 3 center back line. If they don't know how to do that, how to play that position well, there's no point in running it. Go move back to a 4 back line, protect your keeper, and move to 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to do to just make sure that we can possess the ball like we've been doing it. But Montreal didn't show anything special. They literally beat our backup left center back twice. 2 goals. I mean, that's literally how it happened. Joseph Martinez got the second one, and it was like I couldn't even believe that this old man was able to find that much open space against our back line. it is what it is. Petard Musa did get on the score sheet. Moose finally, first game in, got his goal. We know he can do it, but I kind of want to echo John's sentiment with the Fire a little bit. It wasn't like hoofball per se, but there was zero creativity in the middle of the field. None. We had 2 defensive mids leading all the creativity. And what you saw, I felt like I was watching Spain in the World Cup. We were just passing laterally, left to right, left to right. There was no one that could give us a cutting edge in the attacking third to find Musa when it mattered. And I think that hurt us. Like bringing in Pamakal, who's I know he's been injured. He brought him in the 83rd minute. In the 83rd minute to impact the game. Like, what's he going to do with 7 minutes left? Right? Like bring him in with 30 minutes to play. I understand he was nursing an injury, in the offseason and into the first couple weeks of this season. But I don't know, man. I think in-game management, questionable. Tactics to start the game, questionable from Nico Estevez. It could be a one-off. Last time these two teams met, which they don't meet very often. We don't play the Red Bulls very often. I think it was back in 2022. They drew 0-0. And that's exactly what I have happening here. I think Red Bulls, the vintage Red Bulls could show up, and it's just they don't find a way to score. We don't find a way to score, and it ends 0-0, but I have it ending 1-1. 1-0, John? What you got?
New York. And the reason why I think this is Emmy Forsberg's first goal of the season. I just there's something there. I like the fact that Musa scored for you guys. I also like the fact that you guys managed to lose to Montreal.
I love that John's laughing, right? Because
listen,
lost to Cincinnati, right?
Listen, Cincinnati's that's a playoff team. Come on.
Listen to this. Montreal went to Orlando on the road, drew there, took a point. Went to Dallas, won, took 3 points. So they went to 2 playoff teams, strong playoff teams. This is not just they went to anybody and got the dub. It is 100%. I think we all just severely underestimated Montreal, myself included. We all thought this would be Dallas' statement win.
Before we get upset about
no one's upset. No one's upset, brother. What I'm saying is, hold on. First off, again, no Ferreira to start. No Pamakal. Missing 2 of our 3 starting center backs in the back. I think that we still have yet to see what a full strength FC Dallas looks like.
No, I'm excited for you guys.
But no matter what, I think laughing at Montreal is going to come back to bite all of us in the ass by midseason.
Listen, we'll see what happens. I highly doubt that. Listen, if Montreal happened to do something by midseason, I will buy a Montreal kit, and in the next episode, I will wear a Montreal kit. So that is a big if. I don't ever see him doing anything good. So
name Joseph Martinez on the back.
Listen, I'll put Joseph Martinez on the back if he can score like 10 goals by midseason. All right, until that happens, we'll see. But I think,
hey man, Montreal's a frisky team, man. They're frisky.
Hey, listen, if I have to hold it, I'll have to hold that. But at the end of the day, I still think that Dallas could have done more.
Oh, facts.
Dallas should have done more. So I feel like they're in that weird period where they're trying to, integrate new players. Again, you had a lot of injuries, so trying to manage that. I feel like Red Bulls are a more solid team. So that's what I'm saying. 1-0.
It's crazy how shit changes in 2 weeks, right? Like John was shitting on the Red Bulls in the Eastern Power rankings that they were never going to be anything. That they are who we thought they were, right? And they was that moment. It was that rant. It was that rant. And 2 weeks later, it's like, bro, they're looking pretty fucking good. I think Forsberg's going to come out swinging. I think
listen. I didn't say
it's a coming out party at the New York Red Bulls.
Listen. They're just looking better than Dallas is at this current moment. Not saying that they're better than Dallas as a whole. They're better than Dallas. And
they scored for the first time this past week. For the first time ever.
Listen, they're going to score again. And it's going to be Forsberg.
I agree with that.
I'm telling you.
And I agree they'll score, not because the Red Bulls are good, but because we're running this 3-4-3 formation that they expect to get results with backup players, which to me screams like delusion, right? Like, I think Estevez feels like he's Wilfred Nancy coaching the Columbus Crew. Like, you're not him, bro. You're not that guy. Like, you're not. So, and our players aren't those players. Like, we have so many new players that we're trying to integrate on top of learning a new formation, new tactics. Bro, if I have to watch Omar Gonzalez in a back 3 center back formation one more time, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. Like, I can't even tell you, bro, because it was 3 center backs and he's never done that in his career. I've never seen a center back more hesitant to make a tackle. Like, he didn't even know if he was like supposed to try and defend him or sit back. it was I was losing my mind at the game.
Well, you guys signed an old man. What do you expect?
Well, we didn't sign it. We didn't sign him to be a starter. We signed him to be a backup, right? I just said we lost Ibiaga after week 1, so it's one of those things where like we didn't expect him to play this early. But in my mind, as a coach, when you lose your starting center back, should you not change up the formation of the tactics entirely? Maybe Omar's not ready for this.
We did that for a left back, but look at our result. Like, you know,
y'all are the fire, bro. Y'all are.
Now you want to start digging the grave.
Look, man, I think could this match go the Red Bulls' way? 1,000%. You know, it's MLS. MLS favors the home team just about always. What I'm saying is, I don't fault the players. I fault the manager, and I'm hoping the manager will find a way to get the tactics and the man management right this week. That's all that I'm saying.
Fair.
Anybody else? Or John pissed me off?
listen. I'm just saying it how it is right now. And in this current moment, the Red Bulls are looking a little bit better than Dallas, and not due to Dallas's fault. They just have injuries.
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Exactly.
Honda, what were you gonna say?
I mean, I was looking at your lineup, and like you took kind of the negatives out of it, but I'm looking at the positives out of the game. Musa, right? He's gonna be your starting striker for the rest of the season.
Facts.
You could tell he's gonna finish a bunch of goals. Maybe not the top goal scorer, but he's gonna be up there contending for it. And I'm liking the youth player, Farrington, right? I'm liking what he's doing on the pitch. Get him a little bit more comfortable with the actual squad itself, right? Ariola's out of the squad, and you guys.
Bro, Ariola is so. Oh my God.
Don't let him cook. Go in.
Ariola pisses me the fuck off. Like I don't understand why this man is captain. I don't know what he has on Nico. Like I honestly, there has to be some blackmail or some shit going on there. I have no idea why he's automatically just our starting winger and our captain. It makes no sense. Farrington, like Honda has said, has done more offensively as a rookie, a drafted rookie. So right, this is like not some signing we made from overseas. Like he was playing USL 2 and college ball last year. I don't understand why he is able to make fundamentally better decisions with the ball on the pitch than Ariola, who was somehow in the circulation for the U.S. men's national team in that World Cup 2022. I have no idea why that's the case. Why managers rate Ariola? Maybe he has some sort of leadership qualities. I guess I don't really know. But on the pitch, man, I can't watch this fucking guy play anymore. I can't wait for Velasco to get back.
In Nashville, they'll take him.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, there was somebody who was going to come in. Was it the Galaxy last year that were potentially going to try and come in?
Yeah, I was like, no, you guys better not do that.
I was begging for it, bro. I was begging. I was like, dude, just please somebody come in and sign this motherfucker, bro. I can't watch this man play anymore. And maybe he turns things around. Maybe I'll put my foot in my mouth. I don't really know, but I don't know, man.
if he turns things around, what are you doing?
If he turns things around, I'm gonna have a T-shirt made with Ariola's face just for this show, and I'm gonna rock it straight up on this show and at the FC Dallas game.
Okay, at the Dallas game,
and at the Dallas game.
We need picture proof.
1,000%. Group D
is gonna be like, what are you
way.
guys talking about? I love Ariola.
What are you talking about, bro? I've never said anything bad about that man. The fuck?
He's my brother.
But yeah, tie 1-1. That's what I'm going with this one.
Yeah.
1-1?
I think honestly we can honestly see it 0-0. I can totally see both these teams botching it up front, and not because Musa is bad or Forsberg's bad. I think just maybe service is lacking in this game. I don't really know. Plus, it's New York, so maybe I gotta go look at the weather and shit. I don't really know. But
as you say that, I got you guys. I got you. The highs is gonna be 48 degrees, and the lows is gonna be 38. So
we got everything on the show for you guys.
Every weather for Musa.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Croatian. So maybe he's right at home, bro. Maybe he's like everyone's out there on like warm ups, and he's just out there like shirtless, just like warming up and shit. Like
he's got his AirPods on, man. He's jamming to New York with Alicia Keys.
Yeah, bro, 100%, 100%. I totally agree. Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. And
but I got the New York Red Bulls winning. Because you know who's also used to cold weather? Forsberg.
Facts, bro. He's Swedish. Swedish guys are built different when it comes to that shit. Look, man, I'm totally fine with that. I think, you know, if we want to go with the Red Bulls for the sake of it, I think that I'm down to be against the grain and come back to the group chat after the game and be like, told you so. All right.
I'm going to do the same thing.
Ariola, player of the year.
Watch it.
And if Ariola scores, I will be the quietest person in that fucking chat. That's all I'm going to say. After what I said today.
He's going to score own goal.
Bro, that was his primary contribution in 2023. That's all I'm gonna say about that against Vancouver. I was livid. Last season was rough. All right, boys, let's move on. Orlando and Minnesota United. So let's just address the elephant in the room in the sense that John kind of pooped on Orlando a little bit.
No. I was backing him. I backed
Oh, yeah,
him.
sorry. I'm my bad. You pooped on Miami a little bit. Yeah. You pooped on Miami a little bit. Came back to bite you. Orlando didn't even score a fucking goal. It wasn't even close from the onset, right? Within 11 minutes, John was proven wrong. And Suarez. Well, yeah,
Suarez scored the first one.
Yeah. But 2 goals is like a damn hold this out.
As well, too, by the way. 2 and 2.
Yeah. So it's one of those where, like, it happens, bro. I think obviously he's, in my opinion, Pistolero's, the greatest striker of our generation. I think he's going to get these types of performances and goals. But with that said, right, Orlando not scoring a single fucking goal is alarming, in my opinion, right? And on top of that, they do have to deal with the Triple C, right? The Champions Cup. So they have games.
No, still.
Is it 0-0?
It's Tigres, though. It's Tigres, bro. Come on. Respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
True. Yeah, it's Tigres. But they have extra games.
America.
Yeah, they have extra games to deal with. Losing a 5-0 against Miami, it's like you take that with a grain of salt because it is, again, 2015 Barca. Minnesota, we talked about it already. Drew on the road against Columbus, 1-1. On the road's actually a pretty damn good performance. How do you guys see this game netting out? 0-0?
I don't think, and he might be right. This might be
of the week.
The Snoozefest of the week. And in a very controversial Snoozefest of the week, I will say that because, I don't know. I think Minnesota's coming in with their new manager. The new manager is arriving this week. I think Orlando still have a lot to figure out in the defense, which is why they actually got dunked on the 5-0. And I think after you get scored on 2 goals in the first 11 minutes, I think it becomes a tough task to try to figure out how to get out of that hole. And I think they just couldn't figure it out. And it just kind of ball rolled, It's like a snowball effect, It kept building up. But I don't think Orlando get the first goal here. I feel like it's gonna be one of those bogey games. So it looks like on paper it should be a good game, but it'll be a snooze fest. No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you're a Minnesota United fan, you just watched the Manchester Derby. How are you? Oh shit! I'm sorry, John. I forgot you're a Manchester United fan.
Thank you.
It is what it is, bro.
Whoopsie.
Where's my United stuff? Let me
I will say this, boys. Okay, two points to counteract what John said. Last time these two teams met, which again, Orlando hasn't made a ton of additions to what we saw last year. In late 2023, Orlando did get the win against Minnesota 2-1. And it was at home, right? So that's something to consider. Vegas also has Orlando taking this game. So, it's sometimes so hard for me to bet against the odds, right? Like the house always wins. That's a saying for a reason. I don't know if I'm going to lean totally on that. I could see a draw, but damn it, there need to be goals in this game. Orlando, get your head out of your ass. There need to be goals in this game. You guys are well overdue for this. We talked about how overdue New York City FC is to score goals. I think Orlando wins 2-1.
Dude, Orlando has such a good squad up front, right? Like, even though Nicolaito is on his older side, right? He can create chances. And I don't think he was starting last game, right?
Oh, God. What happened, Hector? What happened?
It was so easy. It was such an easy tap in, and he went over the goal.
Who?
Orlando.
Oh, my God.
Oh, as soon as I said it, right? As soon as I said it, exactly.
Nicolaito. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a corner. It's a corner. Cordova blocked it.
Okay.
Apparently now has braids.
Okay, well, there's some respite there, but
yeah.
Honda, what's great about what you're saying? I agree with you. What's crazy about that, even before this Triple C mess, Hector had Orlando City as his MLS Cup champion, so
no regrets.
I think it's interesting,
yeah, they have
right?
Such a strong squad, though. Like, they got
on paper, they look really good.
Yeah, man, and I mean, once they get their pieces set together and in order, right? I feel like they will gel at the end of the day, and they will compete for that title. But right now, they tied with Montreal, give or take. Like, obviously, Montreal is doing what they're doing. And they lost to Inter Miami 5-0. Suarez dunking on their heads, right? I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them.
It's about pride now, boys. It's about pride. Like, there's no way you're going to get chokeslammed at home by Minnesota United, who finished 11th or 12th place, whatever it was last season. There's no way that's happening, even if Reynoso was back, right? I mean, now they've added Luis Muriel to the mix. Like, you got, alongside Duncan McGuire, which that whole transfer saga was wild, you now have another tried and true, despite the fact that he's 32, tried and true goal scorer, and Lodero, a tried and true 10 directly behind them, a championship caliber 10. They need to find the back of the net. There's no more excuses now, in my opinion. I know we're only in week 3, but that 5-0 needs to hurt a whole lot more than it probably does. Like, this needs to be a pride game at this point. So I'm expecting Orlando to take it. Are we all in
Yeah,
favor, or do we think it's going to be a draw?
That's fine. If you guys want Orlando to win, I don't have a problem with Orlando.
I still
1-0.
think it's a snooze fest, but I can see Orlando winning it. Even
Yeah.
with the triple C's.
Bro, imagine we get back-to-back Orlando picks wrong. That's going to be tough. We're going to hear it.
And I was
Technically,
bad.
I wasn't
Destroyed.
wrong because even though I picked Orlando to win the MLS Cup, I said they were going to lose to Miami. So
Technically, we picked.
Hector's like silver lining, you know?
Technically, we
technically
weren't
I
all
wasn't wrong.
as a group. We were not all wrong because we reluctantly picked Miami to win that game. So as a group,
That's
we were
true.
correct.
Yeah, as a
Ron
group,
saves face with that. Yeah, actually, you're
also,
right.
I
You're
don't
right.
make bad jersey bets. Like I don't do that. So
Oh, yeah.
it's not like I have a really bad jersey bet going on my podcast right now or anything.
All right. Well, I think that settles it. We got Orlando winning very narrowly. It still could be a snooze fest. We'll see how this game nets out. But I will say confidently, this game is a candidate for snooze fest of the week. We'll talk about it later. All right, let's move on. Philadelphia taking on the Seattle Sounders. Philadelphia drew to a Sporting Kansas City on the road 1-1 after drawing at home to Chicago Fire. Interestingly enough, so they're looking for their first win of the season. Seattle, and confidently, as we all called it on the week 2 predictions video, the snooze fest of the week against Austin FC, 0-0 at home at Lumen Field. I think by halftime, it was like 17 shots to like 1 or 2. These boys cannot score if their fucking lives depended on it. Like there's no reason to believe in the attack of the Seattle Sounders. And now, right, just finding out Pedro de la Vega's out for what is it, like 6 weeks plus?
Yikes.
It's like 6 to 8 weeks. Rui Diaz is not firing. Morris is not firing. Bro, Sounders, I think got Xiaoyan, who's not available for today's recording, could not be here because he'd be getting absolutely flamed. And we probably would also hear nothing but just the saddest
sour.
take on the Sounders. Yeah, he
Soggy
would
sour.
shit on his own team hard as hell.
Listen. I think that Seattle did. They're again another one of those teams. They need the summer to come by as quick as possible. There's just not a lot going for them.
You know what's crazy? You know what's
When
crazy?
they did their teaser.
Yeah.
Seattle did that little teaser for Pedro de la Vega. All I saw in the comments on every social media platform was, "Did we just get Cavani?"
Oh my god!
I bet y'all wish y'all did have
in a
Cavani now.
nutshell, bro.
Cavani. Talking about Cavani. Cavani would cook in this league, by the way.
He would.
Imagine having Cavani.
He's thinking it
Yeah,
up
but
right
it's
now.
Boca.
Yeah, it's Boca. I mean,
It's
here,
Boca.
Bro,
think
he's
about
benched
it.
to Benedetto, bro. Just think about it. He's benched.
Benedetto's kind of he's alright, you know.
What I will say about
Exactly.
Seattle, though, going back to the point, is that the Sounders, crazy, just looking at their score lines, right? The only goal they have this season is a Pedro de la Vega penalty kick. Outside of that, they have not generated anywhere near the amount of chances on goal to net out some kind of positive score line. And they're looking for their first goal in regular play coming, this week against Philadelphia, which I don't expect to happen. I'll be honest, I have the Union winning this 2-0.
In a controversial sense, I'm gonna take Seattle 1-0, and you know why?
Because you hate the Union.
No, because I hate Jim Curtin. I hate Jim Curtin. You already know how that
Well,
works.
by extension of that, right? Like you hate the Union, just by extension.
Yeah, just because of Jim Curtin though. Like Jim Curtin's not there. Hey, Philly, we cool.
If he somehow got fired before the weekend, I'd be all in on the fucking Union.
Oh no, what was it? I literally said this yesterday. I was talking about it. I had said that he's got to be one of the candidates to get the can this season. No, I feel like he will.
Look, man,
I feel like he
Philadelphia's
will.
in disarray, man. They're just not one of those percentages.
If it continues like this, he probably will be.
I had controversially said that he was going to get the first man to get sacked. Now, I don't think that is correct. I feel like Wolf got him beat out on that.
No,
But-
facts, big facts.
Yeah.
Wolf will 100% first manager to get fired.
They should both
But-
get sacked into that snooze fest.
Facts, bro. Facts.
But I feel like I again 1-0 Seattle just to stick at the curtain.
That's fine. I don't know where that goal is gonna come from, bro. Maybe it's an own goal.
Penalty.
I guess. And then
Penalty.
even then, like Seattle is so bad offensively. I almost inclined to say that without De La Vega, they might miss that PK, bro.
Wow.
Listen, if it wasn't for Bedoya, Philadelphia would have lost.
Facts, bro. I'm not saying you're not wrong about Curtin and his teams. And they have yet to win this season. So like you're onto something there. I'm just saying that like I don't know. Like they could get chances all day. I haven't seen a team miss this many chances in quite some time.
But at least they get chances. Philadelphia barely get chances.
Philadelphia's scoring. They're scoring. They tied you guys 2-2. They tied Kansas City 1-1.
Old man Bedoya. You're really gonna rely on him? Come on now.
I mean, if he's not getting results, right now the Sounders would gladly take Bedoya.
Right?
I don't know about
Look,
that.
I will say this though. I believe Philadelphia is still in the triple C.
Yes.
There is that.
Mhm.
Also, weather update. It is on Saturday. The high is 51 degrees with the low being 37, and there's a 35% chance of rain. So I'm predicting a draw here.
Rain
Oh,
might
that's
favor
good for
Seattle.
Seattle
The rain
too,
might
I
favor
guess.
Seattle.
Yeah, they used to that, you know.
They might
Get
favor
behind
them.
that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hector, what'd you pick for this one?
I got a draw.
Okay, Honda.
Donas para el café. 0-0.
Yeah, John. You think it's going to be Seattle no matter what?
Seattle, no matter what. I'm a stand against Jim Curtin. All right.
I picked Philly, so I think we have to go with Hector and Honda here. I think draw, whether it's 0-0, 1-1, whatever it may be. This also to me is probably up there. I don't know if it's Orlando, Minnesota vibes, but there is some strong Snoozefest material with this game, boys. There's a lot of it here. So
maybe Seattle plays some Nirvana before the game starts.
yeah, 100%, bro, 100%. Now moving into, we're talking about it a little bit already because they did play against Seattle in week 2. Austin FC taking on St. Louis City SC at the Q2, which used to mean something. It used to mean something. That doesn't mean shit anymore. I think, yeah, bro. I think it doesn't. I haven't seen a fan base down this bad in like quite some time. Austin is in fucking shambles.
Yeah, even earlier today, he's like, "Bro, I don't even know what my club is.
I don't recognize my club anymore." I was like,
you gotta be really down to be saying that.
I love it. I love it. You know what?
I think you two love it.
Yeah,
down over there in Austin.
I don't know where this high horse came from, these Austin FC fans, but I'm glad.
One season, a single season in their club's history has them on cloud fucking 9. They act like they were up there with like the Real Madrids of MLS, and now it's like, oh my god, we're in shambles. I'm like, brother, y'all are an expansion.
It's a CCL appearance.
That was prematurely awarded for them.
They lost to a color in Violet. Not only that, a team with no bench, by the way. A bunch of farmers, no bench. This team is so down bad. Dude, he might get sacked this week. Honestly, he might get sacked this week.
The fans have lost faith entirely.
Listen, it's not like St. I'm still on the
St. Louis shellacking. Fired.
Which they got last year. I don't know if you guys remember. So they lost 3-2 in that first matchup to St. Louis, which is fine. But then they salvaged it. It was like 4-0 at one point, but it was 6-3. So
6-3.
6-3.
Wait, was that the game where they passed the ball back to Klaus and he scored the winner?
I think so. Yeah. No. That was the 3-2. That was the first game.
That was the 3-2.
That was 3-2. 6-3. St. Louis was just the best team, hands down. I think Klaus was already injured for that one too, which is wild, right? So
listen. I'm gonna be bold here. I'm gonna say 4-0 win. St. Louis.
I don't know if that's bold. I was slightly more conservative. I said 3. It's like the Q2, maybe Austin gets a penalty or something. They scored against Minnesota. Like maybe they'll get a goal, right? But
the replacement referees fuck up.
Yeah, and referees were bad in multiple games.
This past week was bad. I thought week one. I thought we were we're looking kind of it was
okay, but bro,
week 2, oh no,
it's gonna be a problem.
You had a replacement referee getting replaced for wearing a Miami jersey.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, of course, there were like a couple of egregious calls that happened in week 1, but then like in week 2, I saw in multiple games where there was like, what is the ref doing, bro? Like I just don't understand. VAR can't even help these refs. They're so bad sometimes. MLS needs to figure that shit out. But beyond that, I think we all confidently have St. Louis winning this game, right? Driussi is still out. Austin has never beaten this team ever in the history of this club. Which again, that's what 2 or 3 meetings last season. They drew to Seattle on the road, which honestly was a great point for them because I think it netted out 20 plus shots for Seattle to Austin's like 3 or 4. I don't know how Austin survives this game.
Yeah, I think they're down bad.
Imagine picking up Diego Rubio, bro. That's
Rubio was a level up from Zardes, right? I will confidently say that. And even Obrian was but Obrian too was a level up from Rigoni, but like
you guys feel
not doing anything.
Do you guys feel like that for Austin? This is a loser leaves town game.
Loser leaves town?
Kind of. Like that's a great question. I think it should be. In my opinion, it should be. Like, I don't know, man. Austin has, I can't tell you how many Austin FC fans were on the timeline. Like the whole Roldo is cooking meme, right? I saw it so many fucking times with how many like quote unquote smart transfers they were making in the January in the winter window. And now look at them, bro. Like they don't even have this illustrious history as a club. Granted, they're still only a few seasons old, but like this is the worst you've ever seen.
For practice.
Yeah, bro, this is wild, man. Like I don't know, man. Austin is down bad. I mean, if anybody watching this video now, or even here right now in the call for the recording, has ever tuned in, if you haven't tuned into the We Are Austin TV Spaces after these games on Twitter, go do it. And Hector, like, you should definitely go do it, bro. It's like therapy for me when I go tune in, bro. I love it. I mean, every fan is like so down bad and critical of Wolf and what this team is doing. If they can't figure this out by the summer window, I don't know how Wolf survives like March and April. Like, I really think that we can see him out well before the summer window gets here.
Won't.
Yeah,
I think you guys are a little bit like the Joker, no? You just love seeing fan bases burn and just
Hey
enjoying
man,
all that.
I'm literally the Birdman meme right now. So.
Facts, bro. And I'm not gonna say all fan bases, right? Like, I have nothing against most fan bases in MLS, but it's crazy how loud Austin FC fans are after a single season of success. A single season. Outside of that, the most mid club of all time. And they beat their chest like they're relevant or comparable to the other two clubs that are in this great state of Texas, right? So yeah, man, I don't have anything more to say. Austin's down bad. This should be a shellacking of Austin FC even at the Q2. What I'm going to be looking for is the minute at which fans start leaving the stadium, you know? Maybe halftime, maybe the 50th minute. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe like the Sheffield United game.
Bro, 15 minutes in and fans are already fucking leaving. I was like, man, Austin may be the Sheffield United of MLS 2024. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, that's just disrespectful to Sheffield United.
Crazy.
Oh, that's wild. All right, let's move on. Moving into RSL, Real Salt Lake versus Colorado.
Okay, we definitely got to check for blizzards here.
Yeah, facts. This one. Now we have to.
They're both mountain. They're both mountains, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so
listen,
the advantage in a Blizzard game for this one.
Listen, RSL was playing beach football out there. You know, they were playing beach soccer, flipping the ball up, doing.
Bro, they might be better in the snow, low key. You know what I mean? Like they're like, damn. All it took was for a blizzard to come through, and these guys are out here like prime Barca. That's crazy.
Ango was scoring. I mean, he got up for that game. You know,
they did. Bro.
You got the snowman celebration. The snow angel celebration.
I don't think Hugo Loris has ever played in snow like that. I mean, this man was trying to figure out what the hell the orange ball was. And like,
you were right about Luna, though. I was gonna say.
What specifically?
Honda, you'd mentioned it yesterday. I forgot what.
Yeah, like he needs to create more, and that's what he did in that game. Yeah. Right, that's where Real Salt Lake will look the strongest. And that right wing, if he's that fast in the snow, just imagine him without the snow.
Bro, I'm saying, man.
Maybe Luna, there will be snow.
He didn't get like I think he only had he had no more than like 4 or 5 successful dribbles in the first 2 games, like no more than that, and which leads you to believe that like he's just not getting enough of the ball in open space. And I didn't watch the entire RSL LAFC game because I had to go to the Dallas game, but what I did see is that he was able to just create more chances. Now he's not always going to get a chance to use the conditions like that to his favor. But that should be a blueprint for what Salt Lake continue to do, right? Is feed him, he feeds your attack, and you're going to net out goals, even against a team like LAFC, and now especially against a team like Colorado, man, keep in mind, right? They drew against Nashville at home 1-1. All of these signings they made are netting out to roughly the same start they had in 2023. I think, no major L's that they've taken so far yet, but nothing to really write home about either. When are we going to see the Colorado team that we all thought we were going to see in the offseason?
I think it's just still rebuilding. I think they're just still rebuilding, man. There's still a lot to figure out over there.
Yeah.
So I think that's just. I think there's going to be a lot of growing pains with Colorado, at least initially. But yeah, after seeing what Diego Luna was able to do last game, it got me really excited. Once again, I don't know what the fuck the state of Texas did. We really skipped the bag on that one, man. He was literally there in El Paso. And not one single Texas team went after him. So, yeah, we
imagine Luna and either one of our sides, Hector, bro, that guy would fucking cook, man. Musa would be feasting with Luna behind him. And we needed someone like him, a creative playmaker against Montreal, bro. I mean, yeah, I think he's the key for RSL. And with that said, it goes both ways, boys. If he doesn't have a good game for whatever reason, there's reason to believe Colorado could pull off an upset here because he makes an entire offense tick. I have Salt Lake winning this game. What did I predict? Damn, I predicted 3-1. Anybody disagree?
RSL 2-0.
Yeah, basically the same shit. Honda, Hector. Yeah.
I like 2-0. There's no snow. At least that's what the weather report
There's no snow.
I don't know if snow was on the agenda for this past game. What was crazy that they saw like 3 different variations of weather, like all in that game. Like it was super windy, then it was lightning, and then I don't know where the blizzard came through. I was like, bro, Utah's wild. Like I don't even know if I could deal with 3 seasons all in a single day like that. I thought Texas was crazy. I mean, Utah's got us beat by a mile. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But we do have Salt Lake taking that one home. All right, let's move on. LAFC Sporting Kansas City. LAFC, we just talked about it, lost to RSL in the Blizzard 3-0 on the road. SKC drew to Philly at home 1-1. SKC still starting a little bit slow, like they did not as bad as last year, right? But they're starting a little bit slow. They're looking for their first win. It is going to be on the road at BMO Stadium in LA, when I expect it to be pretty damn nice. Just in Los Angeles, Hector, you fact check me on the weather if you want, bro.
Gotcha.
But I think I expect LAFC just to take this, not because Kansas City is like inherently bad.
It's going to be a nice 71 degrees.
Oh yeah, bro. I expect home field
nice
advantage to be
71 degrees.
Yeah, vintage LA, bro. Like I just think LAFC should take this one. KC will get a goal. Don't get me wrong. It could be a penalty or whatever, set piece, whatever it may be. They may even score first, but I think the combination of Tillman, Bawanga, and Bogusz gets LAFC over the line 2-1.
How do I want to go with this? Because I could see this. I'm going to take LAFC. I don't know what the scoreline is going to be, but the reason I say that is I don't think that they're going to let that RSL game really define who they are. They're going to come back and they're going to be angry at that game because most of the players are pissed off they had to play in the first place.
Isn't that weird? I saw it. I because I saw the Tarundolo interview, but like he, he did that press conference, bro. like he acts like they were at some fucking disadvantage. Like RSL wasn't dealing with the exact same conditions they were. Why are we bitching this hard about snow?
The refs, though their replacements, approved that the game was suited, that the weather was fine to play.
I don't mind the game being played. In all honesty, like in my opinion, I think this is what makes MLS.
The refs can just say, "Hey, we gotta postpone the game," because the weather's bad. But they didn't because it met regulations and they were going to go out there and play. So I mean, I don't know. Tarundolo just seems to have an excuse every time something doesn't work out for him. So
yeah. But I feel like the team will be angry about this, and I'm saying I feel
That's
like
valid.
Bawanga gets a hat trick. It's gonna be a 4-0 game.
Wow, 4-0.
Okay.
Look at Honda.
Calm down. All right, but at first I did say SKC, but now that I think about it, right, LAFC is gonna want that like revenge game. B, Sporting Kansas City always starts off slow, so LAFC is probably gonna win. Like Jose said, at most like 3-1, 2-1. That's what I see going down.
Yeah, I think Vegas has them heavily favored as well.
And can we just touch on this for a second? Pulido is taking it, bah, like he.
But man, you got to keep in mind. I don't know if we can call it like a straight tanking yet, but I got to keep in mind like Pulido came at a time where there was zero pressure on him to perform. Him and Gotti, right? They were down bad 10, 11 games, whatever it was, without winning, and then he comes back in May, and it's like, all right, all I got to do is just not be worse than what our team has fucking been for the start of the season. And he starts scoring goals. And as a striker, right, once you find a little bit of form, you can build on it and it snowballs. And, that probably was the best run of his career, maybe. I mean, just the single greatest run of scoring.
As in his SKC career, probably.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you might be right.
It competes with some of the ones that Chivas too. But.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, how hard that is to replicate, just to do it in the next season too, and just keep that going. He needs to get going first, and then we might see a run again.
Hey, I mean, Johnny Russell's doing better for them, though.
Fair. We say Honda.
He did score. It was just outside.
Yeah. I mean, he'll find the back of that. I think Pulido will find his goals. It may not be the goal tally he had last season or the same run of form game over game, but I still expect him to be the guy for KC. And you mentioned, Johnny Russell. Johnny Russell's kind of always been that guy for them. He is pretty consistent, even when they were losing. Him and Daniel Shalhoub were still finding a way to create some kind of an attack. So, and Kavicho might hate that we're saying this, right? But I just think LAFC is just a better team. They're just flat out a better team, and they're at home.
They're angry and they're pissed.
Yes,
and that's the other thing. So
I 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing that over at Insert MSU that we say a lot is I would hate to be the team that has to face that face them after, and unfortunately, this is Sporting Kansas City that has to face LAFC.
Yeah,
so,
they could run it up. I don't know. We'll see, but we all expect LAFC to take home that one. All right, let's move into kind of our final slew of matches. We got 4 left. San Jose versus the Vancouver Whitecaps. San Jose lost to the Galaxy 3-1 in the Cali Clasico at home. I think it was interesting about Vancouver was they were able to. I say able to because I don't know what to expect from the Whitecaps this season, really. But they drew at home to a Charlotte team that still hasn't lost yet. San Jose, I was trying to defend. We in our Eastern Conference Power Rankings video, Xiaoyan and Hernan specifically, the two guys who aren't here to defend this take. absolutely shit on San Jose. And I was trying to my best to defend them, at least to an extent, right? You lose some pieces, but you still have guys like a Bobasi, you still have Espinoza. Like maybe there's something they could string together. When I watched them play in Dallas, to Dallas's backups, and still lose 2-1, I was like, okay, hopefully I'm not terribly wrong in defending them. And then watch them get picked apart by the Galaxy. I'm like, okay, they're in shambles. It's off the fucking way. Like they're not Austin FC just yet, but they're not far from it. I don't know.
FC.
I don't know what the Quakes are gonna do. Are they missing anybody major? Like this might be the best version of this team right now. I can't think of anybody.
They're missing Cade Cowell. That's who they're missing.
Yeah, they're missing Cade Cowell. Yeah, but
hey, listen,
he's
in a nice little vacation over there in Chivas.
Man's vibing right now, bro.
He ain't. I mean,
he got a sombrero, like
the blonde locks. He's goofy, bro.
He's just vibing out there. He ain't really providing much.
I mean, he's had some performances. He's
He's all right.
I think this is a little bit of the, maybe the anti-Chivas bias, but either way, I think, with San Jose, the best things I've seen them do, even when they score, it seems fluky, but the best things I've seen them do is Espinoza ripping it from like 25 to 30 yards out. That's really it. Like, the Quakes don't inspire me whatsoever. On top of that, their kids are kind of, but anyway.
The kids. You gotta bring in the kids.
Yeah, bro.
Playing white jersey. I'm playing white jersey with the throwback.
Okay, that's what you should do. That's what you should do. Swap Ariola and Espinoza. There you go.
Bro, I would take that fucking tomorrow. Somebody's make that shit happen. I would take honestly, I would take Espinoza 1,000%, even if Ariola didn't go that way. But bro, I ship it, and same thing. Ship Ariola for nothing. Just give us some game. I'm totally cool with that.
Listen, 0-0.
Give us your washing machine.
This is give us no. Give the fax printer. That's what they need.
Facts, bro. Facts. I'm telling you, bro. Like Ariel. Anyway, I'm not gonna go down that rant again. But
anyway, no. This is the Snoozefest of the week. This one
I like.
The other ones, but I don't. Vancouver, man. I don't know.
Yeah, Vancouver, man, just not really inspiring. I mean,
probably won't get any highlights from MLS 360 from this.
No, probably not, bro. Probably not. Like I said, I tried to defend the Quakes prior to the season starting. I couldn't defend that kid. That Morse coach shit looks terrible. I mean, there's so many aspects you could pick apart with the Quakes. At the end of the day, if they get a draw here, if they get their first point of the season, I guess you could say a dub for them. But man, by the end of the season, they may be down bad. I don't know. We'll see. But I think collectively, we're all in the camp of this could be a draw, and in the biggest Snoozefest way possible. All right, let's move on. Cincinnati against DC United. This, to me, has strong game of the week potential. This, to me, is like up there. Yeah. I think Cincinnati has gotten slightly better, from between game 1 to game 2. And I won't say it's to the fault of Chicago Fire. I think, you guys could have played better, John, but since he looked pretty damn good, right? Still in the 2-1.
They looked all right after they got their goal. Pre the giveaway.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, that's what it takes, right? But keep in mind now, that was on the road. They're going to be at home. We know the TQL is rocking at home for these games. DC United, this is the best version of DC we've seen in a little while. They did draw. It's a good Portland team on the road 2-2. They're going to be on the road again for this one. And in 2023, keep in mind, they did split their meetings. Even with DC finishing like in 10th place in the East or whatever, they went 1-1. They each won at home. So with both teams having scoring power, that's visible in this league already, and I will say both equally being somewhat vulnerable defensively, could this be a 3-2?
There's going to be goals.
Yeah.
There's going to be goals. But I think that Benteke might get an extra one, and that might be the 3-2 flipping around DC's way.
Ooh,
but okay. Yedlin just joined Cincinnati. I don't know how much he's going to be integrated into that team right away. I don't know how much is really going to help him out either. He's not very good defensively.
I don't know if everybody saw my tweet when the news went out, but I was like, so since he just got worse defensively, great. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they gave up peas. They helped Miami register some players, and they took someone back. So
this was a favor, and they're hoping that they get it returned to them one day. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. When they meet each other in the semis, and then they inevitably knocked out Miami. They got. But I could see this being 3-2 DC.
Interesting. DC winning on the road against the Eastern Conference finalists would be wild because CQL is again. I'm not gonna say it's a fortress, but it is home field advantage.
This is
a team that could do it. I do feel like it is DC United.
Yeah, this team looks so different
right now.
Yeah,
it looks so different in comparison to the Wayne Rooney DC United we got last year.
Bro,
It's
Winry's
like-
in fucking shambles, man. This man should
Nah,
not coach.
man.
He should not be coaching. This is very clear evidence that he should not be coaching. Big Troy's got this team moving, man. Got them moving right now. Again, they are getting scored on, so there is some defensive openness to them, right? But they're scoring goals, consistently creating chances. And Benteke is feasting. He's finishing them. So
I feel like DC is going to be one of those teams this year that's going to just constantly get into shootouts.
Yeah.
It'll be shootouts when you play them.
Yeah.
They're going to concede, but they're also going to score.
Yeah. So I agree with 3-2. I actually had Cincy winning just because of the home field advantage. I think in MLS it's still a massive factor, but that's just my opinion. I honestly, if it went 3-2 the other way with DC, wouldn't surprise me at all. Hector, Honda.
I'm also with DC United 3-2.
I'm
Honda,
gonna go 3-3.
on you.
I'm gonna go 3.
3-3 draw. Well, I mean, look, if that happens, by the way, which I think AJ predicted a 3-3 for the Portland DC game and it ended 2-2. So, like, and we all said 3-2. Like, we were all pretty spot on with that one last week.
They're both scoring
I like
goals,
that.
and they're both weak.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm
1000%,
thinking
bro.
it could be.
Yeah, 1000%. So good shout. We'll hold on to that pick, but at the end of the day, majority does win. A DC United 3-2 win is our pick for this matchup, but strong match of the week potential with this one. It probably is, to be honest.
Probably is match of the week.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to our second to last matchup. This is one of the Sunday games along with Cincy. Nashville taking on the Galaxy. So Honda, this is going to be your boys, right? Visiting. I don't know how you say it, Geodis Park. Which it does have strong home field advantage appeal to it, but with Nashville not having Mukhtar or Sam Surridge right now, they are lost offensively. Like, I don't know where these goals really come from.
Tyler Boyd
CCL.
revenge game.
Maybe.
Hmm.
But I think but when you're the only guy that can create something offensively, you don't really have the pieces around you to combat what we've a very rampant Galaxy side that we've seen in the first 2 weeks. I don't think he'll be able to cancel out the goals that the Galaxy will score, man. I think it's going to be wild. I mean, I picked Galaxy to win 2-0 based off of how well they're firing at this moment. But Galaxy are Galaxy, right? They could be on this high and then they could pull a fire or FC Dallas from last week. So who knows? But I think even on the road, it's hard for me to bet against the Galaxy. How do you feel about your team in this one?
I feel fantastic about the team, especially with how I saw them play the first 2 games. Side, which may or may not have been tired because of the preseason, who knows, right? And they had to travel across the country, but it was still a very fantastic game. They dominated the game. Second game, San Jose, I don't know anymore, right?
Yeah.
This one, Nashville has CCC, the Triple C, right?
Yep.
As well. They got to figure that out against Inter Miami. So they're probably going to put their pieces there.
Mhm.
And Galaxy, they're just looking out for him. I could see a 2-0 for Galaxy, or I could see a 0-0 Snoozefest, and that's because of Nashville.
Yeah, they might set up defensively. And again, Nashville was the best defensive team in the league last season. So and in a very tough Eastern Conference. So like we know what they can do defensively, and they even in the first game against the Red Bulls, they neutralized them. With all the chances the Red Bulls created, they couldn't score. So like, it's finding a way to keep a clean sheet is a skill in itself. And something else to note too, Galaxy are undefeated all time against Nashville. They've never lost a game. They've either drawn or won. So, I don't expect that record to change. In my opinion, I'm right there with Honda. I think Galaxy win this game. John, Hector, anything different?
Well, not anything different. I just wanted to add on that I really like the fact I like how Galaxy are playing. This Chicharito not being there, I think that added pressure of Chicharito being there.
The anti-Chivas bias is crazy.
No, it's not even it's not even anti-Chivas, bro. That's my dog, bro. That's my dog. But at the end of the day, like that pressure of having a player like that. I'm talking about a star player in MLS. You're looking
you
at
have
the
to feed him and you have to get him the ball. Yeah.
And it's more of a unit. And that's what it seems like. It's more of a unit. Fagundes, I think he's still trying to figure it out. We're finding out what's going to be there. But Gabriel Peck off the bench playing fantastic. I really like that guy.
Delgado looks good.
Yeah.
And of course, Painter's right. I mean, the guy's
just Delgado dog. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, Delgado's. It's not even just so much like some of the passes that he's making. The assist was great, right? But it's like the awareness that he has of space on the pitch as he's playing. It levels up that midfield so well.
Your boy that you gave to us too. I'm liking his defensive style as well too.
Which one?
Serio.
Oh, yeah. Edwin, bro. Cedillo's a dog, bro. Like he really is. Actually, he grew up in a town an hour south of me in Waco. He he is a dog through and through, bro. Anybody see Edwin like tee it up with Messi that fucking that first game, right? When toe to toe with him, wasn't scared of him whatsoever, bro. I love that. I love that. I was like, don't back down, bro. Don't back down to the goat.
He watched the El Salvador game. He's like, okay, just gotta play CONCACAF.
Exactly, bro. Edwin's always that guy. A solid passer. Don't get me wrong. He's a good, good kind of like hybrid 6, interior 8.
But what I was getting into is that this whole team, it's completely different to the Galaxy that we've seen within the past couple seasons.
We're 2 games in. We're 2
games in. We're 2 games in.
Well, I think what he's saying is different is that obviously with LA, you usually expect to have at least some sort of star player. I mean, Ricky Puig is there. I mean, he is there.
But that's kind of where I was getting at. They don't have this big striker, the likes of Ibra, Chicharito, Gio dos Santos,
it's more of a team.
This is more of a unit, and I feel like Joveljic is taking advantage of that because now he's getting fed. Now he's going to be able to actually score these opportunities that he's getting more opportunities as it is too. But I think he's gonna shine a little bit this season. So
yeah,
I know it's early on, but I like what Galaxy have been building up to this point.
I agree. I think El Tráfico this season, come April, is going to be wild. I think it's going to be fireworks. These are probably 2 of the best teams in the West at this moment in time with form. I think, and not just even having like the cohesive team and everything else. Even within the cohesive team, they have personalities to help them get over the line, right? The addition of Paintel is not just his pace. It's not just, what he's able to offer on the pitch. The guy came from Europe and he's showing it immediately with how he thinks about the game, how players play around him, what he demands of the players around him. I think Galaxy are set for a solid positive bounce 2024. I'm not going to give them so much credit as to say that, oh man, they're going to easily be one of the powerhouses in the West. Time will tell. But right now, looking very good. I expect them to still, even on the road, get this dub, even against a good defensive team like Nashville. So are we all in favor, LA Galaxy?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Last game of the weekend. Inter Miami take on CF Montreal. Montreal coming off of that win on the road against Dallas, and right before then, stealing a point from Orlando on the road. They keep the show rolling as far as road games go. They head to Miami. Miami coming off a massive victory. Is there trap game potential with this one because of the high Miami is on?
No.
Joseph Martinez revenge game.
John, it would be the most MLS thing of all time for Montreal to steal points.
It would be.
We got to see what's in the script. I mean, Joseph
Man,
Martinez revenge game.
So I'm pulling up the MLS script right now. I got this pulled up here. It says, this isn't me. This is just a script.
Okay.
It says
the weather included on that
Inter
one?
Miami 2-0.
Okay.
I don't write the script. It's just I just read it how it is. No, I think they'll win 2-0. I think that they have a foundation. Now they have I feel like they've set a bar now, right? This is what we can do. Now they have to keep hitting this bar. Will I think that they'll score 5? They should. They should score 5. Are they going to? No. I think they'll drop back a little bit. They got Champions League this week, no? They playing or no?
I don't think this is it this week.
Is it this week?
Yeah, this is the round of 16, so everybody's playing now in Triple C.
So so they play Thursday. They play Thursday against Nashville, which is not.
That's a quick turn. That's a turnaround.
Quick turnaround.
Turnaround. And that's a nighttime game too. I heard and what I saw
Montreal
was Messi
revenge game.
I'm telling you, this crap game.
Listen, Messi and Suarez are getting benched for the CCC. So
you think so?
No, it was reported already.
Oh, right, okay.
Fair,
right.
So they're getting rest.
Damn.
They're getting rested because of the congestion of their schedule with the past couple of days. They played I think it was 3 games. They played 3 games so far.
They ran out of injections for Suarez.
I mean that knee can only take so much, you know.
He's got to go on his 5th ice bath today. So
yeah. So I think that because of the rest, it's just going to be a 2-0. Which I don't think Suarez starts this game. By the way, I think he gets an extra game to rest. He'll be on the bench.
John's going to stick with that argument about not starting until it actually comes true. He'll be like,
no.
I told you.
No. But think about it. He came out. He cooked. He had his little swan song. He had his 2 goals, 2 assists. It wouldn't be such a bad idea to rest him. He's played 3 games. You can rest him this next CCC, and then you bring him on. You bring him off in the second half. I think Campana would do a good job. I don't see that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think the reality is that I think Tata Martino and Inter Miami realize they don't have to go all out in the season. Obviously, as long as you get in that playoff position, which I mean, with the experience that they have on that roster, is very much well capable of going far in a playoff style format. So I mean, they're going to pick and choose how they're going to handle these matches, and I think what we saw against Orlando was a prime example of this is what we're capable of. Yeah. So don't think that we're just sloppy right now. But the reality is, I think we're seeing what they're going to do. If they're, I mean, benching Messi and Suarez for the Triple C is quite the idea. But I think also, you know, at some point we got to see what the rest of the squad can do without Messi, and I think that's going to be an important one, at least for that first leg. But I'll be intrigued to see how Tata Martino rotates his squad throughout the Triple C. There is no U.S. Open Cup for them, so I mean that's their primary focus, at least right now, is Triple C and the season.
And I'm sure they want to make it into the Club World Cup. You know, was it 2025? They won. They're doing that with the bigger tournament. So I'm sure they want to make it. But yeah, like I said, I think they'll prioritize the second legs over the first legs, and you know, they gotta rotate a little bit.
Yeah. Now, again, we talked. I know John had his moment about Montreal's ass, whatever, right? I think with Montreal, there's something to note, right? It's just you look at the two games and how they played Orlando and Dallas, and this new coach, Laurent Courtois, whatever his name is. I feel like this manager is not aiming to play proper football or champagne football. I think he's really aiming strictly to get results. He's a pragmatic manager. I think he tailors his strategy week over week to the team he's playing. I think he's going to find a way to give up all the possession of the world to Inter Miami and hit them on the break. And like I said, they've already proven it twice this season, despite how 2023 finished for that. 2023 was so bad, they obviously had to go in a brand new direction, Montreal. I don't think this is going to be some shellacking of Montreal, even with what Miami did against Orlando. We talked about the CCC and all that stuff. But I think even if that wasn't that play, this has strong trap game potential. I actually picked them to draw 2-2 in this game.
You got Montreal scoring too.
Yeah. If you look at their goals to shot ratio and their goals per 90, they're actually one of the more efficient teams in MLS through 2 weeks. And it's 2 weeks, right? But they're efficient. They've proven they don't need a lot of opportunities to score goals. And I think that's a skill in itself, right? Like we've seen all like teams like that pop up out of the woodwork time and time again and be successful with it. So I'm not saying they're the better team. I'm not saying they deserve to be on the same pitch with Inter Miami or deserve to get the dub, but this is MLS. And at the end of the day, it would be the most MLS thing in the world for Montreal to give all of their fans hope with like a draw or maybe even a win at Inter Miami.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
How are you guys feeling, Hector? Honda, are you guys just back in the Barca boys on this one, or do you feel another way?
It's hard not to pick this. It's hard. I mean, it's hard to pick Miami. I don't know what. It's not like I just think of this one person for this one team or anything like that.
I'm sure those fans are tired of it too. Like, guys, we're a full team. We're not just the GOAT, you know? Yeah. So you're going with Miami?
I'm going with Miami.
John's going with Miami here. I think we're split.
We are split. Yeah. So look, I'm down to give you guys the Miami one with the caveat that like everybody can watch this video back. I think Montreal's going to give them problems, and mainly because everyone's just simply writing them off in 2023. We'll see what happens. And it's, by the way, it's kind of crazy if Montreal can make that U-turn from 2023 to being like a wild card type of team. Yeah. If they could do that, there's almost no excuse for some of these other teams we talked about today. The San Jose's of the world, the Austin FC's of the world, the Seattle's of the world. You guys need to figure this shit out.
Let's keep Austin out of this conversation.
No. But it's not to be offensive, but it's to show light that it's possible to get out of the hole that you're in.
Yeah.
So I mean, DC obviously.
Yeah. They're U-turning it.
Toronto. They're figuring it out, you know. So there's hope. There's hope for some of these
Galaxy
as well. Like, you know, it's gonna take a while. I think Austin need a little bit more. I think Austin are gonna end up with the wooden spoon at the end of the year. But yeah, I think it's looking that way.
I think they're the new age Toronto FC. It is what it is, bro. But yeah, I mean, I think for this game, look, we'll go with Miami. It's hard not to back Messi. I feel like we're gonna go with Miami so many times on this show, and hopefully, what I'm hoping for over time is that MLS shows that anybody can win in this league and that we get proven wrong more than a few times. But as of right now, they're undefeated. They're going to be at home. It's MLS. You got to back the home team. So, all right, boys. That is those are our picks for all of this week. Let's before we wrap up, let's grab our Snoozefest of the week and our match of the week. How are you guys feeling about Snoozefest of the week right now?
Snoozefest.
San Jose.
I think it's the San Jose.
Yeah, bro.
San Jose game.
Yeah, I think it has to be. I mean, outside of that, the only other
Bro,
contender.
that's not
for
even
me-
a snooze fest. That's a coma.
15 years, wake up.
Yeah,
Which
I think
year is it?
Orlando, Minnesota had potential, but like this one's
Yeah.
fucking there, man. It's
I know this one's it for a fact.
Snoozefest of the week. Yeah, San Jose, Vancouver, and then match of the week, boys. It's got to be Cincy.
It's gonna be
Cincinnati.
Cincy, yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
game.
it
If
has
there
to.
are not goals, I'm going to be very, very disappointed. Very disappointed. All right, man. Well, those are our picks. That's how we're letting out this week. We ran for 90 minutes, boys. So I'll conclude the video here. If you disagree with any of our picks, I'm sure you do because the comments were on fire for our week 2 predictions video. Please let us know in the comments down below. John is sorry. He apologizes.
I
for going
apologize.
one
Hey,
last week.
listen, I did what I said wasn't inherently wrong at the time. I got proven wrong. So the thing is, we might get proven wrong every once in a while.
We
and
might
that
get
is
proven right this
completely
week, though.
okay.
Technically, I wasn't wrong.
But technically,
Oh
we
my
weren't
God,
wrong as
Hector,
a
Hector,
whole.
stop, bro. Stop.
No,
Technically,
you
we
know,
weren't wrong as a
let's
whole.
be honest though. What everybody's really wanting to know is what happened to Xiaoyan. That's what everybody in the comments
Oh,
wants to know.
man.
They're gonna
Yeah,
be like,
bro.
"Oh man, dude ghosted after all those hot takes."
Yeah, he had so many hot takes and just couldn't be available. Right when he told me he wasn't free, I was like, "Damn, they're gonna scapegoat him for this video, bro." 100%.
It's okay. Maybe we do a Cheyenne special on Friday. You know, get his reactions.
Yeah, man, we're gonna see what happens. Trust me, though, if Seattle does not score this week, these guys are on fraud watch, bro. 100%. I will
sure,
back
for
that
sure.
through and through. But look, that's our video for today. So for everybody here at Wake Up MLS, my name's Jose. That's John. That's Hector. That's Honda. We'll catch you guys next time.